us now live from the dugout. I told you I'd refer to him as Red Sox legend. I'm still going to do it. Red Sox legend and current Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Dave, thanks for joining us. You're right on the brink here. I'm going to start you off talking about Freddie Freeman. If I was a Yankees pitcher, I would walk Freddie Freeman at this point. It's been 5 consecutive World Series games with a home run. Would you be surprised if he hit another one? And what do you think about Freddie's performance so far?
I wouldn't be surprised. He's seeing the baseball really well right now. I think he's out of the woods with this ankle injury that he's been nursing for the last few weeks. And, yeah, you know what? We're on the precipice of doing something great. So I just like the way we're taking good at-bats. We're playing good defense. And we still got that kind of killer look in our eyes, which we know that we have a lot of work to still do.
Dave, it seems to me, I obviously don't know you, but I've watched your press conferences, like you have been very courteous and cordial with the Shohei Ohtani pitching questions, but you also find them a little ridiculous. So I don't want to ask you about Shohei Ohtani pitching because he's obviously not going to. I do want to ask you this. Did you ever think of, what if when I'm asked that I say, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Just to seed doubt in the Yankees. Like, oh, man, we might have to also face Ohtani. Like, was there ever a thought of, even if I know he's not pitching, a little gamesmanship here?
You know what? I thought about it a little bit, but then what happens is that certainly with a player like Shohei, then it's the media, it's a buzz, and then I got to have another conversation with him to say that it was gamesmanship, and I just want him to stay focused on just doing his job, and I don't want to create extra noise. But yeah, it gets a little tiresome answering the same question with the same answer.
Dave, I assume Shohei's playing tonight. Tell us, please, if he's not. But him going out there, he's obviously not 100% with the shoulder. You guys up 2-0 last night, now up 3-0. Does him going out there, even though he's not 100%, give like an emotional or morale boost to the other players? Like, man, look, we got a nice cushion. He could easily relax and sit it out, but he's out there giving it his all, even though he's compromised. Does that help the team emotionally and mentally?
Absolutely, and I think it's without a doubt. And I think that certainly seeing what Freddie Freeman's done, you know, recently with the ankle and still being able to be out there and post is certainly incentive for Shohei. But he wasn't going to be denied, you know, playing in these World Series games regardless. And I think a good tell is, you know, knowing that Shohei is not 100%, but I think every Yankee would still rather him not play than be how he is. So I think that for me, it's an easy decision to have him in there.
Dave, bullpen game tonight. You're going to use a lot of pitchers. Can you give us a little bit of a peek into your mindset on developing how you bring in which pitcher, when, how many guys you're going to use? And as a little bonus, any surprises if the Dodgers get up big? You're like, you know what? I'm going to have to throw this guy out here for a pitch.
There won't be any surprises. I have too much respect for the game, for Aaron, for the Yankees, and I think I don't know how many pitchers we're going to use. I know Ben Conspiracy is going to start. He's going to go as long as he can. And then we have guys around him. And I think it's more predicated on the game score and how it's going, you know, depending on which guys I decide to use.
Dave, I just kind of want to ask you an open-ended Mookie Betts question, partially because I find him to be fascinating and one of the most likable players, and partially because my dear friend and co-host Kevin Wildes is a diehard Red Sox fan and cannot believe he no longer plays for his team, even though it's been a half-decade at this point. We know how great of a player he is. Can you tell us something the audience might not know about Mookie the leader or Mookie the teammate that helps your team? Because every Dodgers season, you know, it's going to be 180-some games. Anything short of World Series, people are going to kill us. How is Mookie in that clubhouse?
Mookie's great in the clubhouse. He's a worker. He's certainly likable. He's one of the leaders on our ball club. Leads by example. He just wants to win. I think he wants to be great. He wants a legacy, and that includes so you have to have rings. But he's just like, even when he was going through that struggle in the postseason, where it's that narrative the last couple of years, that was personal to him. It hurt him, and so it affected him. And so I'm happy to see him go off this postseason. But I think that, again, it's just he's really likable, and, man, it's just he's one of my favorite people to ever be around.
Dave, we had John Schmaltz on earlier. Obviously, he was on those great Atlanta Braves teams that won one World Series out of their 15-year run or whatever. You guys have been maybe the best team in baseball the last 12 years, but have the one World Series in the pandemic year that sometimes people don't give it as much credit as maybe it deserves. How much pressure did you guys feel heading into these playoffs? You know, you made the big signings in the offseason of Shohei and Yamamoto. And, you know, you've had these years where you haven't won the World Series, even though you've been a great team. How much pressure was there on you guys, and how did you quell it and keep guys, you know, able to just focus on one game at a time?
I think, yes, there was pressure, certainly with the signings that we had this winter. But I would, you know, I still believe that every single year I hear the same thing: World Series or bust. So you can't have any more greater expectations than winning the World Series. How do we quell it? I think that the kind of us versus them, we know going into the postseason that no one picked us. And it's really ironic that, you know, we were essentially an underdog. And so even in this series, you know, you hear about the Yankees, you know, top of the order and their pitching and things like that. So I think us as a collective unit just kind of came together and said we want to prove everybody wrong. And that's sort of our rallying cry. And I just like the way we're fighting. These guys are dogs. And you know, we have a lot of fight.
Last question, Dave. You know, the storyline in New York is, can the Yankees pull off 0-3 comeback? And a lot of people look back at the Red Sox beating the Yankees. Yesterday you were asked about it, and you said no secrets, so I'll put my own theory out there. The Yankees, it was a foregone conclusion, and the Red Sox played carefree, and they kind of collided, and the story switched. So knowing that you went through that, can you just describe the mindset of the Dodgers in trying to end it tonight?
Yeah, I just think that we're of the same mind as we were last night, game one, game two, to play good baseball, to play with urgency, to play, you know, like there's no tomorrow. And I think that once you let your guard down, you start opening that window of hope for the other ball club. And that's what we had in 2004 once we won one game. And you know, I think for us, we just want to kind of put these guys to bed tonight, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Dave. Good luck tonight.
All right, fellas.
Thanks so much.
You got it, guys.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.